years, people have realised just the combination of the lightweight and the durability of plastic means that suddenly they're starting to use them for all sorts of products that they'd maybe not thought of before. How long have you been involved in the business then?
My current stint at Barclays, I've been involved for 6 years, but I've been in and out since I was a child, as I'm the son of Mark as well, so it's always been a family.
So third generation of the family involved in the company.
Yeah.
So now, whoever wants to tell us about. You mentioned the Home Pride men. I mean, you've had some fantastically quirky, high-profile contracts and deals over the years, haven't
We've
you?
always been 50% automotive and probably 50% quirky little things like that. Home Pride man was again for Bluebird Toys at the time, which I don't think exists anymore, and it just went from there. But we've always had that core of business of doing the lighting, which is based from the Lucas times. We're still making classic car lights, things like the Minis and MGs. We're still doing all those types of lights as well.
Because that's the thing, is, I mean, in 50 years, you've seen highs in the automotive industry. 10, 15 years ago, we've seen some pretty horrendous lows as well, haven't we? I mean, were you shielded from that, or?
The worst low we had was probably in the recession of 2008, 2009, where we had to get rid of quite a bit of staff, and we've come through the other side now, and we're pretty much stronger.
And how do you think you've done that? Is it because of the automotive products, or is it because of the broad range that you?
Well, since the recession, I think we tried to go away from automotive as it was a declining industry back then. But in the recent years, it's been growing rapidly, as many people know, and it's definitely picking up again now. We're seeing inquiries from all kind of automotive manufacturers. It's good to see that some of the big names are repatriating and bringing a lot of it back to the UK.
Presumably, having the likes of Jaguar Land Rover bringing high-profile investments into the region is good news for your company, then.
It is definitely, yeah. Quite a lot of the inquiries we're getting recently are for Jaguar Land Rover, and they just seem to be going from strength to strength at the moment.
Now, I know more recently, in terms of high-profile contracts, you were involved in the Winter Olympics, weren't you?
Yes.
What was that?
Yeah, we were approached by a local company to design and build a range of baubles for the world's largest chandelier, I think it is, for the Sochi Winter Olympics. It was 20,000 different baubles, ranging from 13 to 130 mil, and it was shown on the closing ceremony.
So where is that now? Is it?
Some Putin's yacht, probably.
Yeah.
It's a big. It's a big high-profile deal when you get something like that.
Definitely, yeah.
Are you able to maximise that from a marketing point of view for your company, or do you is it just an Olympics product that no one knows who's made it?
Carry on.
It's good to talk about it, things like this, and in the newspaper that they got hold of it, and it's quite a good bit of publicity for us.
Going forward then for the company, you mentioned that you're looking at not just putting all your eggs in the automotive basket, and you're keen to diversify. Are there any other key areas or key objectives now that you're keen to go and attack?
We've done quite a lot of work for the medical industry recently, and that's something that we want to expand on. We're going to be exhibiting at the MedTech Innovation Exhibition, which is at the Rico Arena, trying to widen our grasp of that industry. Another industry we see picking up quite a bit is the Internet of Things, where people network physical objects, and we've got our own patented process called in-mold internal welding, where I think that'll play an important part and should pick up with them.
And is that something that you've developed, having sort of sat down, spotted the trends in the market, and thought this is where we need to go in the future?
It's basically you can actually put an object into the moulding machine and actually weld the two parts in the machine. Comes out a completed item. So if you've got an electronics thing that you have to weld in afterwards, which is normally electronically sonic welded, the vibrations and that will completely ruin the electronics. So if you put it into the machine and mould it, you haven't got that, so it comes out pretty good. And we've done a tyre pressure transducer, and that's one of the first ones we did.
So that sort of technology is quite adaptable to all sorts of industries, isn't it? Then
it is, yeah.
Definitely, yeah. It's it'll negate the need for things like ultrasonic welding, so you can house electronics and sensors.
It's 100% waterproof as well.
Do you develop all of these ideas in-house, or so have you got a team, like an R&D team?
We've got a good design team there. We've got one of the best designers working for us in the UK. His name's Pete Ted. He's a director of the company now, and we're proud of what he's done so far.
So, hopes and aspirations for the coming 12 months then, other than having a great party to celebrate your 50th birthday?
That was a good party, wasn't it?
Yeah.
We're just going to carry on as we are. We've got lots and lots of inquiries. Our tool room's probably busier than it's ever been, and we're looking to employ more tool makers. And we're interviewing apprentices at the moment. We've got 3 already, because there seems to be a bit of a gap in the market between, say, 25-year-olds and the next line of tool makers are all in their 40s. So I think a lot of people went into IT and things like that.
It's when the recession hits, people look at the industry and think maybe it's not the industry to be in. Now that it's thriving, the skills aren't catching up quite as quickly.
Yeah, now we've got to try and address that skills gap. I think the age of our tool rooms, the current combined years of experience is something like 500 years, isn't it?
Is the West Midlands a good place to be in terms of recruiting staff? And do you find it easy to recruit? So?
No, not really. Not with tool makers, no. You have to kind of get apprentices in there and train them yourselves. And we've got quite a few elderly tool makers which are doing a lot of training, passing on their knowledge to the younger ones.
You've got quite a lot of people that have been with you for a fair chunk of your 50-year history.
We have, yeah. We've got a plaque on the wall which everybody who's been over there 20 years is on that plaque, and there's a lot of people.
Because that's always a sign of happy workplace, isn't it?
David Challoner, whose father was one of the original members, he's been there in the tool room 43 years. Still making tools.
I bet he's got some stories to tell.
He has, yeah.
So what about the 50th anniversary, party-wise? What's the plan?
We've had a party already, I think, didn't we?
Yeah.
I can remember of it, but...
Yeah, it was a local bar. We invited all current and ex-employees, so there was quite a big turnout. It was good to see some of the old faces.
Yeah, it's like a reunion from the past and present.
Oh, that's good. So all in all, as optimistic as you've been for quite some years, it'd be fair to say.
Yeah, it's probably one that, looking forward, it's looking good.
Yeah, we've invested in a 650-ton machine, which is the largest machine we've ever bought in the injection moulding shop. That will be delivered next week, so we can start going for bigger products. It'll be able to do things up to a metre squared, about 2 kilos in weight.
Gents, thanks ever so much for coming in and talking to us. We'll see you after the break.
Harsh sun, cold wind. Pollution and stress can make skin sensitive. That's why Simple is kind to skin. Simple Skin